everybody. We are gonna go ahead and start asking questions if you need to. So remember to ask questions. You just had to hit the blue speech bubble that has Q and A on it. If you click on that, it'll give you the option to ask a new question. I don't know if anybody's watching yet. No, I have 0 viewers. Okay. Hey, I have 1 viewer. Hello. Let me see. Viz. So Viz, if you have any questions, if you'll just remember how you did it last time where you asked a question, you can go ahead and ask anything you want. Now there's 0 viewers. All right. Yeah, Viz, I figured out a new way of doing it. It's called quizzes, and it's kind of like Trivia Crack on Facebook, where I'm gonna give you a code like we do a Kahoot, but it's gonna all the answer choices will pop up on your own device, and then all that will show up on my screen is how many people are getting them right and wrong. So I hope I answered your question. 1 viewer again. I'm assuming that's Viz. 2 viewers now. Awesome. Up to 5. Good. Like I said, probably going to start once we hit 10 to 15 viewers. We'll go ahead and get started with the quiz. It's my understanding that people can start at any point during it, and they would just go through the questions. No, you don't need a Facebook account to participate. You just need a code, which I'll give you the code and the website to go to. It's just like Kahoot, where with Kahoot, you put in the code and you play the game. It's going to be just like that, except it's a different website. And I'm going to be eating dinner while we do this, so all right, we're at 8 viewers now. Just letting you know I am eating dinner while doing this, so you will get to watch me eat. which is not creepy at all. And we are probably going to get started. I know 7 is when I said we'd start. I want to try to make sure we have as many people already on here as possible. I've got my Edmodo page open right now, so that I can make sure nobody's got any concerns on there. Annabelle is asking on the event page if her name appears. I won't be able to see the names of people who watched until the end. All I can see is at the bottom, it gives me a little number that says how many people are watching. So yeah, that's all I can see. Trying to think if there's anything else on here that I can see. Ooh, a bunch of questions popped up. So yes, the plan is to start as close to 7 as possible and to give everyone a moment to get on. So yes, as close to 7 as possible. The preamble word by word, no. We are not going to need to know the preamble word for word, but you are going to need to know the 6 goals and understand what they mean. So that is something you will need to know. Hitesh is asking, where is the Kahoot? We're not going to play Kahoot on here, and I did not put it on Edmodo today. Which reminds me, I forgot to put the answers to your study guide. I'm not going to be able to put that up until the morning, but I can post the Kahoot later tonight. I will post the Kahoot after we do this study session. So Viz is asking, can I post it? I will post it once we finish this. So again, for those of you who may not have been here a moment ago, I am eating dinner while doing this because I'm hungry. So. All right, we've got 11 viewers. It is 7. I think I'll probably give until 5 after before we fully get started. So again, just a reminder, we're not using Kahoot this time. We're going to use a different system, and it should work better. I'm going to give us a few more minutes. We have people coming and going. I'm guessing that they're going because we're not doing anything at this moment. But again, I just wanted to give us a chance to have the most people here as possible. Let's see. Don't see any questions going on in Edmodo right now. I don't have any popping up here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I said I'd give till 7:05, so I'll give till 7:05. If you have any questions, no Viz, but you are going to need to know at least how to identify it. So if I said which of these 4 things would be a check, you need to be able to identify it out of the multiple choice answers. Yeah. Basically, Supreme Court can declare things unconstitutional, president's appointing people or vetoing bills, and Congress is impeaching people, or making new laws. So that's pretty much all you need to know with that. Okay, so we are at 11 viewers. We got 3 minutes till we're going to get started. I haven't had any questions, which is why this is kind of boring right now. But if you want to ask me some questions, I can give some more answers. It should be about the same as last time. My plan is to have between 25 to 30. I had finished it and it was at 27, but I thought I needed to take one off and add another one in, so it should be about 27. Jeremy's asking me how many viewers we have. Currently, it says we have 10. I know some people have had some trouble with getting on, and it keeps going back and forth with how many people are on here. Let me look at this one page. It says we have 11 watching. 2 were saying maybe they would watch, but yeah. No, Summer, we don't need to know any specifics about Congress, House of Representatives, or Senate yet. That will be Unit 6, so you don't need to worry about that yet. Just need to know that their powers are established in which article it's established in, and then also need to know the basics, what the 3 branches are, but no, not the specifics of all that. Not all that. Their terms and stuff like that. There we go. Anurag is asking, will the Kahoot only be on our phones? It's not Kahoot, but it will be on whatever device you use. You can use your phone, you can use your tablet, you can use your computer and have a split screen. That's up to you. But this will have the answer choices on your phone, if that's what you're asking. All right. We do have 10 viewers, and it is 7:04, so I'm going to go ahead and start setting it up. I think you can start. I think I have to click start once people join. I haven't done this yet. This is my first time, so we need to be patient. This is not working. No. Let's see. Let me close that. Close tabs. Let's see if I can get the screen share to go the right way. Of course it's not going to work, because that would be my luck. Why is this not showing up? Of course, my life is going to be difficult. Let's see. Hit X on that. Let's see. Chrome, if that'll work. All right, let me see if it's going to work now, because it wasn't working a second ago. I know you're lost. Oh, here it goes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my screen, and my screen is going to be Quizizz. Okay, and you're going to be able to see that screen. What you're going to want to do is go to that website, join.quizizz.com. So you can see it's right in the middle of the screen. And when you go there, you're going to want to enter the code 08551. 08551. And so where it says troops on the left, once you guys put in that code, it should tell me the number of people who are on there. So yeah. Yeah, so it's still going. 0 people have signed on. So remember, going to that website, join.quizizz.com, and it'll ask you to put in the code. I'm going to do it on my own phone too, just to see exactly what you should be seeing so I can help. Still don't have anybody logged into it. Haha, there we go. It's popping up now. All right, so join.quizzes.com. The code for this today is 08551. We've got 6 people on. And it makes a noise if you're doing it, and it has you pick an avatar. So you'll see I'm on there, and I've got this weird jack-o'-lantern octopus thing as my avatar. Cool, we got a good number of people on here. So I hope you're not lost anymore, Summer, now that the website's popped up. So as soon, I think, so there's 17 people on here. So once I get to 17, I'll probably go ahead and get started. Yes, it's extra credit. Anyone I see on my screen or that comes up on my information will get extra credit. What website is this? The website Quizzes. I think Viz is on here. Let me double check. Yeah, he's on here, so we're good to go. All right, so it's going to kind of end up like, I guess I would compare it to Trivia Crack, where the answer choices are going to pop up on your screen, the question and the answer choice. And the only thing that's going to show up on my screen is what everybody's choosing. Oh, we got a couple more. I might give us just one more minute to get everybody signed up, and then we'll go ahead and start the game. My understanding is that once I hit start game, you can still join the game afterwards. And remember, if there's a question about one of the questions, let me know, because then I can answer that while you're working. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to hit start game. And there we go. So so Victoria is asking what we're doing. We are going on to Quizzes. The website for it is join.quizzes.com. You put in the code 08551 and you can go on and answer the questions. It'll tell me how many you got and how many you got right, how many you got wrong. It'll kind of just keep a running total of that. We're not going to see each question on here, so you just need to let me know in the questions section if you're having any trouble. Sorry. There we go. I'm just going to scroll down, see how everybody's doing. There's the questions, and it's showing me how many everybody's getting right, how many still have to answer it. So yeah, there's all the questions. So we've got 186 questions right. We got 68 total wrong. Remember, if you have any questions, make sure you are writing them in the Q&A section. So you're not doing it at the same time. You're just doing it on your own. You're answering the practice questions, and you're letting me know if you have any questions. So it's not nearly as it's not going to be as competitive as with Kahoot, but in this way, you can you get the questions on your screen, and then you can ask them to me. So it's looking like we're doing a pretty good job. We got 340 total correct, 116 total wrong, so mostly correct. A couple people who haven't answered any. I don't know what that means, that number. I wonder if I say help, it'll help me with that. No, not quite what I want. Okay. Okay, so looks like most people are getting these right. Good. A lot of people are getting this only the federal government can print money one wrong. Remember, the states are prohibited from printing their own money. We don't want states each coming up with their own system of money, because then we've got 50 different systems of money. We want money that can travel between the different states and every citizen in the country can use them. No, we're not. In this system, we're not allowing branches to check themselves. Branches have to be checked by the other branches, because if we're leaving the branches to kind of police themselves, that leaves us open for I lost my train of thought. That leads to corruption, with them just kind of deciding whether or not they're going to actually police themselves. So no, the branches are going to have to check each other, but not themselves. He's asking what happens if we finish. If you're finished, that's fine. But if you got anything wrong, then you might want to ask a question on it. Someone's asking, can we play this new system by ourselves after we end the chat? I don't think, once I hit stop, that'll be the end of it. I can always post this. It's a public quizzes, so if you go to quizzes.com, you can search Unit 4 Review the Constitution, and you can look it up yourself and play it. But yeah, that's it. No, we're not playing any more games, guys. This is really it. I'm just here to answer any questions. And if you don't have any questions, then I guess that's it. All right, glad it said you're done. Make sure if you have any questions, let me know. I see people getting them wrong, but I'm not seeing anybody asking me any questions about it. So, that doesn't really make sense to me. If you're getting them wrong, tell me why or ask me a question. And I'm going to go through and see if there's any that most people are getting wrong. A lot of people are getting the checks on the president wrong. Remember, the only way you can check the president, Congress can override the veto, Supreme Court can declare things unconstitutional. The other thing is that Congress can impeach the president. Okay, so Jeremy said he got the one wrong about amending the Constitution and put approval by the 2/3 majority. Remember, it takes approval of Congress in 2/3, not a 2/3 just majority in general, because it didn't specify what the majority was of. That's why that answer was wrong. Actually, the best answer, I don't remember the answer choice off the top of my head, but I believe it was the one that said 3/4 of the state legislatures. Yes, you're going to get extra credit. It's probably going to go in the extra credit running total this time instead of on the Twiz, because there will be bonus questions on the Twiz. No, it's the 3/4 of the state legislatures is right. 2/3 majority would not be right because it doesn't specify what the majority is. Can we vote on which website to use in class? We can discuss it tomorrow, and if we're not into it, I don't think Kahoot is really going to work for this format. So, yeah. The 5-digit quiz code, sorry, I'll go back to the top so you can see it. The 5-digit quiz code is 08551. 08551. Yes, the president's advisors are the cabinet. They are the cabinet. So Summers asked about the certain powers the states and federal government share. So those are concurrent powers. Concurrent powers are where you have, both the state and the federal government being able to do that. So, for example, make laws. The state governments make laws and the federal government makes laws. I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing just because it kind of just goes on its own on your own screen. So it's not really any point for you to see that. So we'll just, whoa, that looks really strange. I don't know if you guys are seeing that, what I'm seeing, but whoa, that's weird. Okay, give me a second. I'll see if I can fix it. All right. Turn it around, turn it back to the front. Here we go. Okay. So things like creating laws, both the state and the federal government can do that. The thing is taxes. You can have taxes from your state government as well as your federal government. Federal government is generally going to be an income tax. State taxes usually property, some income taxes, and property tax. I think I already said sales tax. Remember, 7.5 sales tax here in Florida. So, can one of the president's advisors be the president or the vice president? Yes, but the vice president is technically a part of the cabinet. So if he's being an advisory role, then it would be a part of the cabinet. So cabinet is the correct answer there. Why can only the federal government print money? Well, it disappeared. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Why can only the federal government print money? The reason the federal government is the only one that can print money is because we want it to be the same across all states. If each state came up with its own system, then you'd have to exchange your money no matter where you went. So if you think about that, we're like 10 minutes away from Georgia. So let's say I want to go on a day trip. I wouldn't be able to spend Florida money if I went to Georgia. And that doesn't make any sense when we're trying to be one country. In France, they have franc, well, the euro now, but they have one monetary system that they can use there so that they're not having to exchange it every time. Okay. So yes, Hitesh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to post the answers to the study guide in the morning. And I get to school at 7:45, so they'll be up there at 7:45. I left that at home. I forgot to upload it before I left school. Or I didn't leave it at home, I left it at school. So I won't be able to put that up tonight. I can't tell what order these questions are being asked in. So let me see if I can get rid of some of these ones that can't answer. They're not, or I've already answered. Oh, the blue and the green. That's probably about when my screen was messed up, my camera. I don't know what that was about, but when I stopped screen sharing, my camera just went crazy. You get as much extra credit as I decide to give you, Akash. So. So Summer was asking if I could go over the other two, and it disappeared. So concurrent power, again, where they both have the same power. Expressed powers are the powers of Congress that are established by, or not just Congress, but for the national government that are established in Articles 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution. So things like term limits, things like what powers they have, what laws can they make, what actions can they take, what things are they allowed to do. So that is all established in the Constitution. We won't talk about the specifics for that until January. So you don't need to know anything beyond that. Express powers are powers of the federal government. Reserved powers are those powers that are left to the state. And that's established in the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. All it says is anything not mentioned in this Constitution is left to the states. So, you know, there's nothing in there about marriage, so it's up to the states to regulate marriage. There's nothing in there about schools, so it's up to the states to handle schools. So because of that, that's why they're called the reserve powers. Yes, if you've already participated in the quizzes, then you will get your extra credit, Anurag. Don't need to worry about that. So if you have any questions, I can be of service. All right, so Amina said she did a second time. That's fine. You can go in a second time. Yes. So Sam's asking, he came here late. This is a review, right? If you'll go to, and I'll screen share it again. If you go to this website, you got to go to join.quizizz.com. Join.quizizz.com. And then you put the code that's at the top right here, 08551. If you put that in, you should be able to play. Yes, guys, if you are done and you have no questions, then yes, you are free to leave. Someone's asking about federal government versus national government. Federal and national government are the same thing, yes. Bonus questions are kind of secret. I've mentioned them previously. I may have spent some time talking about the bonus questions, but I haven't really said specifically what they are yet. Sri is asking, doesn't each branch of the government check and balance each other? Yes. So they don't check themselves, they check the other branches. So, for example, the president's not going to check himself to make, oh, yeah, I did something wrong. I need to fix that. It's only going to, they're going to be checking each other, right? So Amina's asking which branch has the power to create laws. Well, the power to create laws is legislative power. So that would be the legislative branch, Congress. Congress is the one who makes laws, so legislative branch. The cabinet really was only a brief discussion. You just kind of need to be able to recognize the word cabinet. Cabinet is just the president's advisors. I don't know that one of the Kahoot or the quiz is better. They're just kind of basic information, recall information you need to know. The quiz isn't really going to ask you what are express powers. It's going to say, or that's not a good example. I'm not going to say what are checks and balances. It's going to say which of these things is a check on the president, which of these is a check on the Supreme Court. It might say, here's this situation. What goal of the preamble would support this? So both of them are kind of testing you just on the basic information. If you know that basic information, you should be able to pass this quiz. So I still have a lot of people on here. Not a lot of people asking too many questions. Pretty much everyone getting that one right. I think it's about half and half with people concerned about the anti-federalists. Don't forget, anti-federalists want a Bill of Rights. The Federalists do not. So that's a big thing you will need to know. That's kind of what that whole debate boils down to. What they end up making the crux of their argument. We're not going to ratify this Constitution if you don't agree to put in a Bill of Rights. So yeah, the Bill of Rights is the biggest issue between those two. Specifically, you are going to need to know the checks, which are they're pretty simple. There's not too many that you need to know. You will need to know the checks and balances. You will need to know about the preamble goals and how to apply them. You're going to need to know about the principles within the U.S. Constitution. Other than that, it's just your vocab and applying the information. This is asking me to explain the expressed powers again. So expressed powers again, powers of the national government. And those powers are established in Article 1, 2, and 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Reserved powers are those powers that are left to the states. So things that the states are allowed to do. Concurrent powers are powers that they both have. All right, I'm just going to go back looking through, see if there's any questions that a lot of people got wrong. I already talked about the printing money, but in case you didn't hear me, only the federal government can print money. Only the federal government can do that. Supreme Court has the power to, remember, the only thing the Supreme Court has the power to do is declare things unconstitutional. That's the only thing really that the Supreme Court has the power to do. They're reviewing the laws, reviewing cases, declaring things unconstitutional. Hitesh is asking me one more time to explain the different types of powers. This is the last time I'm going to explain it, so I hope everyone here is listening. So, the question is about the powers. Expressed powers are powers that are given to the national government. Reserved powers are powers that are left to the states. And concurrent powers are powers that the two of them have. They share those powers. So that's things like taxes and laws. Both of them are able to do those things. Are we going to need to know which part of the article it is? I don't have any test questions that have that, but I might have some bonus questions that ask you which article has what. All right, I'm going to scroll a couple more times. Pretty much everybody's getting this information right. I know you guys freak out about these quizzes, really. If you know this information, you should be fine. But just remember, you have to apply the information. You got to apply it. It's not just going to ask you the basic information. You're going to have to apply the information to different scenarios. If you guys don't have any more questions, okay, let's see. No, we're not having a sub tomorrow. My husband's not having a surgery till November 18th, so that'll be when the next time we have a sub besides the SeaWorld trip. So no, I'll be there tomorrow. Summer's asking if I can explain the checks to each branch. Checks to each branch. So legislative branch. The president can veto bills that the legislative branch passes. The other thing is that the Supreme Court can declare things unconstitutional. So if a law is declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, then that law dies. Now, in terms of the president, Congress can override a presidential veto, which means if he vetoes it and they override it, then the law passes. With the president also, they can be impeached by Congress. In terms of the Supreme Court's check on the president, they can declare his actions unconstitutional. That's pretty much it. The Supreme Court, the justices are appointed by the president. So he gets to pick people that agree with him to be on those positions. And trying to remember what else. Congress can impeach justices. They can also amend the Constitution. So if for some reason the Supreme Court were to say something was unconstitutional, then it would be a possibility for Congress to amend the Constitution to make it constitutional. All right, guys. I'm hungry and tired today, so I'm going to give us about 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to go. Can you explain the true or false federal and state governments can raise the funds through taxation? I'm going to be honest. I don't remember what the exact wording of that question was. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Okay. So, quiz.com. Okay, so the question was about the true or false question that talks about taxation with the states. So it says both federal and state governments can raise funds through taxation. Yes. Both the state and the federal government have the power to tax its citizens. So it is able to do both those. So both of them are able to do that. That's because it is a concurrent power. So yeah, that is something you might need to know. And Victoria's going away. So good night, Victoria. Have a good evening. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the quizzes again since seems like most of us are done with that. And it does the green and blue thing again. All right, don't worry, guys. I'll fix it real quick. So I'm going to put it to my rear camera, and then I bring it back to the camera. And okay. Viz is saying this is a great system. You should do this for next time. I hope that you enjoyed it a little bit better since the questions come on your end, and then you just have to ask me questions about if you don't understand something. So I like it. I hope you do too, but we'll talk about it tomorrow during class to see what we like better. I don't know what Amina is saying no about. So I don't know. All right, I have no questions. So if you have no questions, I'm going to go ahead and go. Still no questions. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. If you have any questions, I'll answer them. But if not, I'm going to go hang out with my husband. All right, so anti-federalist versus federalist. So federalists are for the Constitution. They thought it was the best way, the best system we could come up with to make sure that people are free. It's also got the separation of power, which they think that separation of power with the three branches, they think that's the best way to do this, especially if we're going to have a stronger central government, which remember they were very against in the beginning when they wrote the Articles of Confederation. So that the separating of those branches was what was going to make this a better system for us. The big thing, though, is they did not want a Bill of Rights. They worried that if they had this list, that they would only be limited to the rights that were listed. And because of that, they were very concerned about listing that down. The other thing is that with rights, things can change over time. And so once you write a list of rights, that's your rights. You can't really change it. So they were concerned about that. Now, the Anti-Federalists thought that if we didn't have a list of rights, then the government was just going to do whatever it wanted. So they were very anti-Constitution because they were concerned about it getting too much power. They were really concerned about the necessary and proper clause because they believed it gave too much power to Congress. So most people who were anti-federalists were pro-state. They wanted the states to retain their powers, and so by it losing its power, they felt like it was. By giving up that power, they were doing a disservice to the country. But really what it boils down to is a Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights was the main problem for the Anti-Federalists. They said, if we have a Bill of Rights, then at least we can work with it. So Viz number 9 is different for everybody. I can look at what the number 9 is on my end, but it may be different than the number 9 on your end. So number 9 said both the state and federal government can raise funds through taxes, which I've mentioned previously. Both states and the federal government can charge taxes. So they do raise their tax revenue, or they do raise revenue through taxes. So yeah, that's a concurrent power. All right, so Sabina is asking about the 2 steps to amending the Constitution. The first step is proposal, and the second step is ratification. In order to propose the amendment to the Constitution, you need to have. All right, Viz, I'll get back to your question in just a second. So for a proposal, you need 2/3 of Congress to agree to a certain amendment, or you need it to come out of a convention of the states where 2/3 of the state are present. But the main thing to help you identify proposal is the 2/3 fraction. Now, the second step is ratification or approval. So it goes to the people in the states to approve it, generally through the state legislatures. It's a 3/4 of the states, and their legislatures would need to approve it for it to become an amendment. The other way for that to happen is to have a ratifying convention with the states, where 3/4 of the states would need to approve it at that convention. Only one amendment has passed that way, and that was the 21st Amendment. So Viz, you're saying that the question you're concerned about is it's the Supreme Court has the power to. I don't remember what the options are, so let me find that real quick. Supreme Court has the power to. Must be towards the beginning. Let me see. Okay, so the Supreme Court has the power to, and the options are repeal an amendment, veto proposed laws, decide if Congress has interpreted the Constitution correctly, or override the president's veto. So repealing an amendment, that's not really their power. Interpreted. It's not intercepted, it's interpreted. So they cannot repeal an amendment. They can declare it unconstitutional, but they can't repeal it. Now, if they say it's unconstitutional, it does kind of die. But repeal is a separate process, which we haven't talked about. They cannot veto bills or laws. That is the president's power. And they can't override a president's veto. So all 3 of those other options are powers that the Supreme Court does not have. The only thing they can do is decide if Congress has interpreted the Constitution correctly. That's determining whether something is constitutional or unconstitutional. So I hope I answered that question. All right. I'm giving you 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to go. 3 more minutes to ask any questions while I also eat dinner. So Viz is asking me a question. He's asking me, and my camera has frozen. Sorry. When am I putting in the test corrections? Since they were just due today, you're gonna have to give me a little bit, and I'm still in the middle of DOI rewrite, so it's gonna take a little while. I'm glad I helped. Good night, Summer, and I will see you tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to put the Kahoot up right after this as soon as I get done here. And technically, I probably could do it now, but I haven't. It's too many windows to take care of. So, Lucy, Supreme Court has the power to, out of those options, it is, they have the power to interpret or decide if the Congress has interpreted the Constitution correctly. So they will review laws that come to them through court cases. And if they feel like those laws have interpreted the Constitution incorrectly, then they will call those laws unconstitutional. Good night, Akash. I hope you have a good evening or rest of your evening. All right, I'm going to start working on getting the Kahoot up on Edmodo. So let me start that, get Kahoot.com. So yeah, tomorrow's Twiz. I know a lot of you are freaking out because last time you didn't get an A, you got a B. That's still really good, guys, and you should be proud of yourselves. I wouldn't freak out too much. All right, I have copied the link for Kahoot. I am now going on to Edmodo, and I'm about to post it onto our page. All right, here is the Kahoot from today. 1516 IB. There you go. All right, it is on its way to you. I see I have some notifications. All right, going back into my Google Hangouts. Ooh, I do have some questions. All right, some are going, go away, good night. Which of these is a check on the president? Remember, checks on the president. Congress can override his veto. They can impeach him. And the Supreme Court can declare his actions unconstitutional. Those are about the only things that that are checked on the president. Which of these goals would support the government making laws about seatbelts? That's going to be promote the general welfare, because remember, that's the well-being of our citizens. Safety. Safety has to do with your well-being, your health. So if the government's going to make laws about seatbelts, they're obviously concerned with your safety. So yeah, that would be the answer to that question. All right, Sabina's going away. Good night, Sabina. I will see you tomorrow. And I think unless I have a barrage of questions, this will probably be my last one. So Sabrina's asking to go over the 6 goals of the preamble. So remember, the preamble goes, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So the first one, form a more perfect union. Our first shot was pretty bad. It didn't work out. And so we're trying it again, and we're trying to do it better. We want a union that is better, basically. The second goal is establish justice. We want to make sure that there is a court system where people can be held accountable. That's also going to include them establishing a set of laws, establishing consequences for breaking laws and things like that. Ensure domestic tranquility is about protecting people at home, making sure people are safe at home. So remember, even if the president is sending troops in, if he's sending those troops in to deal with a domestic issue, that is domestic tranquility. Police officers are there for domestic tranquility. But that's anything where you're trying to keep people safe at home. And by safe, I mean from domestic threats. So that would be different than before when we were talking about seatbelts, which is about your health and well-being safety. This is more about your life safety, making sure that your rights are safe and things like that. Provide for the common defense. That's it just went out of my brain. Providing for the common defense is protecting us from foreign invasion, from foreign threats, making sure that other countries don't attack us. And if you remember, the Article 4 of the Constitution does say that the U.S. government will protect states from foreign invasion. Promote the general welfare. We're advancing the health and well-being of our citizens. That's usually why we have welfare programs. That's why we have laws about health and safety. But all those things are for that goal. The last goal is secure the blessings of liberty, which is just that, making sure we're free, but not just for today, but also into the future. All right, I only have 9 viewers, and that is going to be the end of my broadcast today. I hope that you guys liked the way you practiced it. We'll talk about it in class tomorrow. So have a good evening, and I will see you all later.